God has put eternity in our hearts. That desire that you have to create your own heaven on earth so that you can live forever on this earth, that was put in you by God. And here's the good news. Write this down as number 1 under B. The new earth will be heaven on earth. It will be everything you've been longing for. Listen to verse 3. And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, now the dwelling of God. Where's God's dwelling? Heaven, right? The dwelling of God is with men. And he will live among them. And they will be his people. And God himself will be with them and be their God. Can you imagine a world where God is not just present with us, but God is visibly present, where you can see as much as we possibly can absorb the glory of God, and where Jesus Christ rules and reigns as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords? Can you imagine that world? That's heaven on earth, isn't it? In fact, if you can't imagine what it's like, listen to verse 4. Here's what it's like. He, that is God himself, will wipe every tear from their eyes. And there will be no more death, and no more mourning, and no more crying, and no more pain. Why? For the old order of things has passed away. Write this down as number 2. The new earth will be the eternal promised land. This is what Abraham, this is what you, this is what I are longing for. And that new earth, that new promised land will be established when Christ comes back to the earth. He will set up his kingdom on this planet. He will rule and reign as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You know what it's going to be like? The Bible says this. Jesus says, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Here's the prayer. Thy kingdom come. You know what God's kingdom is going to be like? The next verse tells you. Thy will be done on earth just like it is in heaven. That's the kingdom. That's the promised land. That's heaven come to earth. God's will is going to be done on earth just like it is in heaven. And God is inviting you to come and be a part of that. If you're a believer, God is saying to you, I want you to start reaching out and laying up your treasure there. And stop living like this is all there is. Stop living like this is all there is. You know, I was reading a childhood story about a frog in a well that so typifies the way most people live, as if this is all there is. The little frog, when he was thirsty, drank water from the well. He lived in the bottom of the well. When he was hungry, he ate insects that came down into the well. When he was tired, he would lay down on a rock at the bottom of the well. And when the frog looked up at the sky, from his vantage point, the sky was just this tiny circle at the top of the well. And that's all the sky was. It was just a little bitty circle at the top of the well. And the well was the only life there really is to the frog. But one day, a little bird perched on the side of the well. And the frog looked up at him and said, little bird, come down and play with me. I've got water to drink. I've got insects for you to eat. I've got a rock for you to lay your head on down here. What more could you want? But the little bird began to tell stories about an endless expanse of sky that went on forever and ever. And he said to the frog, hop on my back and I'll fly you and you can see the wonders of the sky. But the little frog listened. He argued, no, I can see the sky. It's just a little round circle at the top of the well. That's all the sky is. And this well is all there is to life. And the bird pleaded with him, no, believe me, there's a huge sky out there that's endless. It's an expanse that goes on forever and ever. But the little frog sat on his little rock and said, nope, this is all there is to life. It's just the well. What an image of the way most people live. Our Creator tells us of an everlasting world. A world where time, A world where time will be endless. A world that will go on forever and ever and ever. A world in which there will be no more pain, no more sorrow, no more suffering, no more crying, no more dying, no more war, no more depression, no more hate, no more habits, no more addicts, no more of any of that stuff that sin has created. Gone. All of that will be passé. And our Father says to us, that's the promised land. And I want you to come and be a part of it.